Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY video. I'm here with Peter Petrides. He is the Director of Sales for Plantronics, which is now part of the Poly family.
Yeah. Right.
So you've got some brand new headphones. Let's take a look.
Sure. So I guess the first one I'm going to show everyone is our introduction into true wireless. We're a little bit late to market, but generally speaking, Plantronics is, at times if we are late to market, we try to be best to market, so hopefully you'll be impressed with this model. This is called the Backbeat Pro 5100, and it is one of the lightest and smallest earbuds available. As you can see here, mate, there's, and I'll let you hold these up if you like. So they are. They're one of the smallest and lightest frames you'll find on a true wireless earbud, and there's a couple of smarts that exist in these. I'll just take these off here and show you.
Let's have a look.
So basically, what happens is when you're everyone's entered the true wireless space, as you know, and there's many brands out there that do some great things, and audio obviously is one of them. But when it comes to voice, everyone seems to forget that these are also used for conversations. We're a voice company at heart, right? We've been doing that for many years. So one of the key things we wanted to do on this was to eliminate some of the problems that people are having with true wireless. So what did we do? We've introduced a chipset in here called the Polycom 5100 chipset. And what that means to consumers and everyone is that it's the top end of chipsets that people use on true wireless. On a lot of the early true wireless items, these items struggle to connect to each other. If you ask someone who uses true wireless, the biggest bugbear people have, right, is that they disconnect to each other, they're not good in congested Bluetooth environments. And the Qualcomm 5100 series has kind of eliminated most of that. And it also works extremely well with our voice technology that works on here as well. So what you'll find is that unlike other true wireless where you have one connecting to the phone and then they talk to each other, these both connect to your phone and they both talk to each other. So it helps with the total communication and dropouts that you would get on frequently with other items. Another cool thing that we've done on this is that this has also 4 microphones. So there's dual microphones on either earphone.
And that's important because there's no stem coming down. The voice has to be picked up right there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and there is a general physics that you would get out of a normal headset. Right? So this is my Voyager 5200. I use this. There's naturally there's a physics component about that being close to your mouth, and it has a suite of technology that's built into that. But naturally, it's a larger unit. Right? Are you going to have the same conversation out of this? No, but you'll definitely have the best conversation you'll have on true wireless that exists today. And it does it because it has 2 dual beam microphones on either earbud that can be used independently. So let me explain. Currently on true wireless products, you really have the option to talk either with both of them in your ear or just one, which is generally the right ear. But as a consumer, you don't want to think about that, right? If I've got them in the case and I have a phone call, and I pull these out of my pocket, I don't have to think about which one I've got to take out.
That's it.
Ours has a thing called any side mono. So essentially what that means is that because of that chipset that's built in here, it doesn't matter which one you're using, they'll always work on microphones. So if I pull them out of the case, I pull the left one out and put it in my ear, it'll answer my call immediately. If I have both in my ears and I'm listening to a conversation and I answer it, that's great. If I take one out and I put it into the case, it'll automatically transfer all the audio and the voice to that one ear. And that's kind of a very unique feature because again, we are a voice company and we get that you should be able to choose what ear you want to use when you're having a conversation.
Absolutely.
So there's an included ear tip on this, as you can see, which most of them have today.
And there's different sizes.
There's 3 different sizes. The cool thing with these ones is that it has this included ear tip, which the gel ear tip wraps around the back of the ear. Earbud as well, and what that does is, if you've used any of the early true wireless, you'll notice that as you talk, the earbuds, as you chew, they slowly migrate out of your ears. That earbud design with the silicone ear tip on the back as well helps grip the inside of the ear, and also helps them secure better.
Normally they're a bubble, but this is like a pyramid or something. It's sort of more angled.
More angled, that's correct, and the silicone runs right down to the bottom of the actual earbud itself, which helps.
That's that silicone part there.
Correct. Yes.
So not only do you have that tip there, but this part also I can feel it's very soft.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's gripping onto your ear.
The other cool thing about these is that they They also have sensors built in, so I've got them on my ears. Most of the other early ones, you'd have to put them back in the case for them to disconnect from your phone or pause your music.
Yep.
These have sensors built in, so if I take them out, naturally the music will stop. And because it has the My Tap function, so there's an app that comes with these, I can select that sensor to actually pause or mute my voice. So let's say we're having a conversation, I'm talking to someone, and on a call, and I want to have a quick conversation in private with you.
Absolutely.
I don't have to mute them. I can just take the earbud out, talk to you, and get back into my conversation.
That's clever. I don't think any other one does that.
No, there isn't. Yeah. At the moment, there isn't. So that's the Backbeat Pro 5100. It has 6.5 hours.
In each.
Together in both.
But I mean, it's 6.5 hours for this one and 6.5 hours for this. So if I want to use one or the other, I actually have 13 hours.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And that's for listening or talk time or both?
Talk time is slightly smaller. I don't know exactly what it is.
Sure.
But it is a little bit smaller.
Sure. But 6.5 hours is longer than what I've heard for most of the other ones.
Yeah, most of the others are around 6 hours, are kind of at the maximum. They are quite large. And the case is super small too, 13 and a half hours in the case.
Additional to
Correct.
To that, yeah. So together it's
about 20 hours.
Yeah, which is good. And
micro USB, not USB-C just yet. Look, that's and you'll see most manufacturers choosing one or the other. I think we're still at the tail end of micro USB.
Yeah. Next year.
Next year.
It's still people have them in droves, and
everyone has one.
It is what it is. Yeah. And if you plug it in for 5 minutes, do you get an hour of listening?
Yeah, so you get about every 10 minutes you get an hour, which is a really quick boost charge on those.
And what are we looking at price-wise for this?
$299 for these, and they've just released only a few weeks ago.
Okay, great. And other colours besides black?
No, just black at the moment.
Yep.
And then we'll slowly transition into different colours as the life of the product goes on.
Sure. Sweet. Okay, so that's your entry in the
Backbeat
world.
Pro, 5100.
Okay, next one.
All right, so the next one is items you've probably seen before, but I'm going to talk about fitness and switch gears a little bit.
Yep.
So here we have what everyone knows as the Backbeat Fit 3150. The 3150 essentially replaced the 3100. Now the 3100 was one of the iconic true wireless fitness headphones that we released last year. Again, we wanted to move to Bluetooth 5. We wanted to give this a little bit better power. And we also wanted to split them and have two models, and I'll explain why.
Sure.
So what you're looking at now is the 3150. The difference with this and the current version that exists is that this has an extra hour of battery. Now it has 8 hours.
Yeah, very good.
It is still very waterproof, totally waterproof. It is secure in its design. It's designed to stay on, and it has of course, the famous always aware ear tip, which enables you to train in any environment and listen to the outside world as well as training, which is great safety.
And how does that work?
That's just the pure paint and design of this ear tip and the volume that's tuned into the audio drivers. I mean, these are quite large drivers, but they're tuned to drive audio from a distance, not right in your ear. The benefit of that is that the human brain wants music to motivate it, but also wants to have a grasp on the outside world, especially when you're in a park and you want to hear the dog barking, you're riding a bike and you want to hear a bus tooting you, for example. Being totally occluded from the world probably isn't the best idea.
Yeah. And you don't have to push any buttons for that.
No, this is activated. That's what we call that always aware, right? And that's the 3150. And we say this is built for outdoors, which means you should feel free to use this in an outside environment and still keep tabs on the real world when you're training, which is what most people would like to do if they haven't used it. Most people will buy normal headphones and then realise they're locking themselves out. You see people training in a park with one earphone in and one earphone out.
Yeah.
This eliminates that purpose.
And you said it's waterproof. I mean, if someone wants to swim in it, it's not really designed for that.
Well, you could theoretically. I mean, if your Bluetooth phone could handle underwater
sure.
music.
I mean, I know that Sony, for example, has a set that they launched about a year ago, which was
specifically designed
to allow you to swim if you wanted to.
Correct, yeah. And look, these people, I have mates who are, this is me personally, I have mates who are windsurfers in Perth.
Yep.
They use these, they swear by them. You can do certain water sports. Can you do, 50 laps in a pool and in breaststroke? Probably not. The transfer of Bluetooth and the splashing may affect you.
That's it, yeah. And so it's got a little zip on the side here, zips it up nicely.
Yeah, so these have 8 hours and then the case has another 16, so you've got 24 hours of use there.
And that's where you can pop in the charging cable, which is great.
They also have a microphone, you can answer and then calls. And again, that also has the My Tap function, which you can actually select, like I said on the 5100 before, you can select it to do things. Same with that, you can select that to actually, set a stopwatch When you press it, you can turn a particular Spotify playlist on, and it has a variety of different functionalities that you can use to activate.
And so I know that the in-ear headphones, the little ones, they'd be like the top of the line.
Yes.
So how many microphones would this one have compared to that one?
This only has 2 microphones.
Yes. So one on each.
One on each.
Yeah, and that one's got 2 on each.
Correct. I mean, this isn't a conversational product. This is
but
hey, I'm in the gym. Can I call you later?
You can
definitely make calls.
Absolutely.
And the microphone is much better on this one than it is on the previous version, being the 3100.
Sure. And so what are we looking at price-wise for this?
These are $249.
Yep.
And they also
they're available now.
They're available now. Correct. Yeah. Now the new one, all these were both new because remember we had the 3100, which that's the upgrade to that. The 3100 goes away and the 3150 comes on. And now we also have the 3200.
Yep, keep going.
So that's right, no worries.
There's my battery there. I thought I'd plugged into my charger, and in fact I have, but sometimes you've got to push the magic button to turn it on.
That's fine. Okay, so now the 3200 does exactly what the 3150 does. The only difference being
besides
the colours, is that this now has an included ear tip, right?
The same as the one on the 5100.
On the 5100, yes. So there is a portion of people that love that design because of its stability and the fact that it's waterproof, but they want to use it in the gym or they want to use it later on a train. You know, they're having that open ear or that always aware ear tip cannot, be useful in a gym loud environment, right? Yeah. If I want to be in the zone and I want to be indoors and safety isn't a concern for me, then naturally I'm going to use something that's occluded. Now, being occluded gives you a couple of benefits. One is that you get a better seal, which means you get a better audio experience, right?
Because so it's noise isolating. It's not noise cancelling, but it's noise isolating.
It's noise isolating, 100%. Now, again, safety is still an aspect for us, though. So what we've done on this is we've introduced something called awareness mode. And what that means is that you can activate a button. If you do want to use these outside, it'll activate the microphones and bring that outside world in.
Yep.
So now you can actually adjust the level of how much audio you want to listen to in music and how much outside environment you want to the level that you're happy with.
Yep.
And you can use that, for example, if I'm in the gym and I want to hear my spotting partner, or if I'm just out and about in the park and I think, you know what, I only want to use these headphones and I can adjust the audio levels of the outside environment.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, I mean, because before you said that, I was thinking, well, can I buy that tip to stick on this one? Because obviously that has the anywhere awareness, and this one theoretically doesn't. But of course, with that transparency mode feature, you've got that on there as well.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and everyone says to me, why do you do both then? Well, the truth about it is that you're either one or the other, right? You either like things in your ear or you don't.
Yes,
right?
yeah, that's right.
I think most people have adapted to the fact that this always aware ear tip, but there is a huge portion of the market that we aren't getting at the moment.
And you didn't have that before?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, so now you're offering it to those people who want that choice.
Of being isolated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so pricing for this one?
Yeah, $249. So they're both the
same price,
right?
Right. Okay, fantastic. And I mean, if somebody wanted to use that tip on this, are the tips compatible? Could you buy those?
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not compatible because and again, these drivers are tuned differently. They're tuned differently for the different wearing style they are.
Just, I'm sure if I'm thinking of the question other people are.
Yeah,
but that's why you've got the choice.
Yep.
And the fact that this has the awareness mode, you can tap the button and hear the outside world. Well, that solves that particular problem. For some people, this will be the ideal one to get.
Yeah.
So same battery life.
Same battery life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of similar to what I guess. If you were to think of a wearing style, the Backbeat Pro that's out at the moment, it's kind of an alternative to that. If or we think that Backbeat Pro is an alternative to this. But ultimately, it's that kind of wearing style just to make users understand what it is.
And look, the obvious question now that we have Sony's and Apple's with noise cancelling, presumably that's in the pipeline and will come at some point.
No doubt. Naturally, it's funny, like the Pro 5100 or any occluded product really does give you some sort of level of passive noise isolation, almost noise cancelling.
Yeah.
And I think the impact of active noise cancelling really matters when you're in an environment like a plane. That it really does take that outside environment. Because a plane environment is not something that you would experience on the ground. So having active noise cancelling and walking the street probably not such a good idea. But most people do want to have that active noise cancelling ability.
I mean, normally when I'm walking down the street, I'll have one of the headphones in and the other one out, so I have situational awareness.
Correct, yeah.
And because you don't normally want to have both of them in that
environment. Well, now you can, right?
Yeah.
So you have a selection.
Okay.
All right, so the final product I'm going to show you, talking about fitness, is the Backbeat Fit 6100, and that's that model here. So think of, when you walk into a gym, there's half of the people are using, well, for those that are using headphones, half of them are using in-ear headphones of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
The other half are using over-ear headphones. And then when you look at the over-ear headphones that exist in the market today, people are using their studio Beats wireless headphones, they're using Bose, they're using some Plantronics Backbeat Pro 2s, or a variety of different over-ear headphones that were designed for lifestyle, not necessarily
not for
the gym.
sweaty
Correct.
gym environment
Or aggressive environments, right?
Yeah.
And you see a lot of activity not being done with, with those headphones because they're not stable, or and they get destroyed because
they're
really
expensive.
They're expensive headphones, yeah. And we're conscious of the fact that people, we'd love people to have a set of headphones for their house, for their plane, for their car, but that's not in real terms, right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people that you see in the gym there would want to have one set of cans that are, I guess, built for sport,
multi-purpose,
but designed for life, right? And there is no such thing. So again, until now, yeah. So I'll show you what these kind of do.
Yeah.
Think of a set of headphones that you were designing purely for an aggressive, workout that you would do in a gym or Tough Mudder or outside. What would the features that you would need?
Well, you want it to be, I guess, waterproof if it's Tough Mudder.
Yeah, Tough Mudder. Yeah, so durable as well, right?
Durable.
You'd want certain features that would help you have a good fitness regime.
Yeah.
This is been designed from the ground up doing that. So the first thing you'll notice is that they're very flexible. Okay, so they come from the heritage that we have on the gaming side of the military headsets that we do.
Still with that camouflage.
Camouflage feel about it. That's right. This is the camo one.
Yeah.
But it gives you that flexibility. Now, why is that? Because if you're training and you're in a gym, you get frustrated like gamers do. You throw things around. They don't even come with a case, they fold away. The reason for that is because you have a gym bag already, you throw them in there, right? Yeah. And you can get you can pick them up because of this tactile, rubbery, leatherette feel you have under. I don't know if you want to show that to the screen.
It's even got the honeycomb effect, which of course is nature's way of making things strong and tough.
Correct, 100%. It also has this wire frame which not only helps stability but enables airflow around the ear. So the less that grabs your head on a material basis, the better feel you get. They're very firm already as they are. These also have no buttons on them, right? So they have
swipe
controls on there. Why is that? That's because if you get them muddy, or if you have wet hands, or you have dust on your
last thing you do is find a tiny little button. You just want to swipe.
That's correct. And after your workout's done, you can give them a quick wipe over, and they're brand new again.
So I mean, these wouldn't be waterproof because it's got the hole here where you've got speakers.
Correct. Yeah.
But it is like sweat proof.
Oh, they're IPX5. They're the highest rating, and the reason I say that we nominate them as sweat proof is because there still has to be a charge control on here, and they are an open ear. They're very different designs in ear.
Yeah.
But what they do have is, the best ability to take as much sweat ingress as possible. So we've taken and eliminated the openings by removing all the buttons, having a port with a silicon, entry cover on the top of it, and only very, very minimal buttons. Now, you know how I said before about about awareness mode. This also has awareness mode because, again, this gives you some great passive noise isolation. So you press that button, and again, you can adjust how much outside world you want if you really want to have that open environment.
On the plane, you don't want to take your headphones off because you want to tell the attendant that you want to order the chicken or beef.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Or you could be, in a park, you want to, you're coming up against a group of people. You want to understand their conversation. You want to, be aware. That is what it's designed for.
So you push that, and it probably tells you that the mode is on.
Yeah, correct. And you can adjust how much audio you want.
Is that just by swiping, or do you have to use the app?
No, it's my tap. You just press one button. So there's one little button on the back. You press that button and it activates it immediately.
But when you said you can adjust how much sound you want.
Yeah, you can do that via the controller on the side of the headphone. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Now, the other cool thing with these headphones is now the firmness. So now I'm training, I'm in the gym, I'm about to do box jumps or sit-ups or bench press or whatever activity that's physical that I know normal headphones will come off. We have this beast mode, is what we call it.
Okay.
And what it is, is that, so you've got this firmness already, but now I'm about to do some activity that is going to jump around a fair bit.
Yeah.
I unclip this.
Little clip there.
Yeah, and this goes down and clips on. And now I've just firmed up my headphones.
Right.
Yeah, so they're even firmer than what they were before, just for that activity that I'm about to do.
Yeah, you can see that's much.
Yeah, so then you've unclipped it, right?
Yeah,
so
I unclipped it, I unclipped it. So if I clip it again,
yeah,
that's right, to show you. So if I clip it again, sorry, I haven't.
That's right, it feels like you're going to break it, you just pull it and tighten it.
That's it, pull it. Well, you want it to be strong. So I haven't never done this before.
That's
so
what I would do,
because you're used to it. I mean, I can see Yeah, that's it. And you sort of clip it into place.
Yeah, that's great.
And then it is in there, and yeah, now you can definitely feel more resistance. So it's sticking closer to your head.
Correct, yeah, and then you unclip it because, again, we said they're built for sport, designed for life for us. So now, if I'm going to be on a train on the way home, well, I don't want them that firm, right?
Yeah.
So for that physical activity you're about to do, they just hold that a little bit firmer. And again, this is the reason we say we built these from the ground up with everything that you would think of that you would need if I wanted a dedicated fitness headphones. Correct. Because what was happening before was very simple. Even us as a manufacturer, we released models in the past that we said, hey, there's a fitness orientated. Well, are they really? They're sweat proof and they've got a bit of a colour on them.
This takes it to the next level.
This takes it to the next level, right? So, and there really isn't a set of headphones that were designed.
Well, I was going to say, I've never heard of that. And obviously you can still use them as
everyday headphones, yeah.
And,
they're aesthetically pleasing enough
calls
to use
as well.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
They also come with an override cable, so you can connect the cable in there if the battery dies. You can still use them via cable if you need to.
Sure. And where does that plug into?
It just plugs into the port underneath. Again, you are micro USB.
Right. So it's micro USB to 3.5 millimeter.
Correct.
Right. Great. Well, there you go. And so what sort of battery life do you expect on these?
24 hours.
Yeah. So it's the
large
standard.
Yeah, standard on every headphones. Yeah.
And the price for these?
They are $299.
Okay, so it's much less than what you find on the competing ones that are not fitness oriented.
Yes. Yeah. And they're Bluetooth 5. They're the latest technology. They're available in Rebel and JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, Rebel's the obvious thing, and of course JB Hi-Fi. And so, what are the short benefits of Bluetooth 5 again compared to Bluetooth 4.2?
Yeah, Bluetooth 5 and Bluetooth 4 has less lag essentially, and it charges quicker. But Bluetooth 5, if you think of aptX, aptX really used to take that lag out of video content. If you're streaming, watching streams or watching video content, you get that little lag of audio transfer. Bluetooth 5 is just a lot faster and almost up to aptX level now. So that really helps, but also helps it with consumption from your phone and also just a better connection.
And also, iPhones, for example, don't have aptX. That's an Android thing.
That's correct.
So this would be a better experience for iPhones.
Yeah, well,
where you don't have aptX. Does it still have aptX for Android phones?
This doesn't. But
that's because it's got Bluetooth 5.
Correct, yes.
Great. Well, Plantronics keeps on improving products every year.
Certainly do.
And there you go, this is the new one. So that is the packaging for the Backbeat Pro 5100.
Yep.
And that's the packaging for the 3200s.
Yep.
You can see it there. Well, I'll have links to all of these things online. We already saw this one. And clearly, with Christmas coming up, there's going to be a lot of happy guys.
Yes, there will be.
All right. Well,
no worries.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Lovely to see you. Cheers.